So what if I told you that a philosophy essay from the 19th century is actually the ultimate, absolute best survival guide for consumers today? I know, it sounds a little crazy, right? We usually think of philosophy as this dusty, abstract thing, but today we're looking at the modern Thoreau. We're going to see exactly how his core ideas on civil disobedience translate directly into how you and I navigate our daily lives right this second. Because let's be real, we live in an era that is just overflowing with information, endless persuasion, and competing interests. And to survive all that, well, we desperately need a framework. Now, Henry David Thoreau wrote his famous essay Civil Disobedience way back in 1849, and he was dealing with some incredibly heavy stuff. Specifically, he was writing about slavery and the Mexican-American War. These were institutions and actions that he believed, down to his core, were fundamentally and morally wrong. So, he famously refused to support them by paying a tax, and he willingly took on the legal consequences of that choice. His whole thing was that your conscience absolutely has to come before blind obedience. He basically challenged the people of his era to stop, look around, and question the powerful forces that were demanding their compliance. I just want to take a second to let that profound question sink in. When powerful institutions ask for our support, or our time, or our hard-earned money, what should our default setting be? Is it just automatic obedience? Or is it examination? Now, to be totally clear here, applying Thoreau's logic today isn't about telling people to just go break laws or run away to the woods to reject society. Not at all. It's actually about a modern duty. It's the responsibility of every single citizen to think independently, to verify what they're being told, and to make informed decisions instead of just swallowing every message at face value.
And that is so crucial right now, because in the 21st century, influence doesn't just come from the government like it did back in Thoreau's day. It is literally everywhere. We're talking massive corporations, social media algorithms, influencers, artificial intelligence, you name it. And the reality is, every single one of these entities has goals. Now sure, some of those goals genuinely benefit society, but others, they are designed strictly to benefit shareholders, or governments, or to just keep you glued to a platform. Sometimes those things overlap, but the undeniable truth we have to face is that every institution has built-in incentives.
So this leads us to what might be the single most valuable skill a modern citizen can have: understanding those underlying incentives. Instead of just looking at the newest trend or a flashy product or a viral news story and asking, well, is this popular or is everyone else doing this? We have to stop and ask the ultimate question: who benefits? Seriously, who is winning if I do this? Once you start looking at the world through that specific lens, the invisible machinery of modern influence suddenly becomes a whole lot more visible. And honestly, nowhere is that machinery more obvious than in how we are constantly pressured to spend our money and our attention. Modern life demands immediate action, right? Click now, buy now, subscribe today, only 3 left in stock, sale ends at midnight. We are just relentlessly bombarded by this rapid-fire marketing, and it is entirely designed to create this overwhelming sense of artificial urgency. Behavioral economists have proven over and over again that people make vastly different choices when they feel rushed. Marketers know this. They want you making a rushed, emotional decision, not a logical one. But here is where you get to use the ultimate consumer superpower. It's not some fancy software or a complex life hack. It is simply learning to hit the brakes and say, not yet. Just not yet. Delay is literally your greatest defense. It is the exact opposite of what the algorithms want from you. A simple, intentional delay completely transforms an emotional, impulsive impulse into a rational, calculated choice. So how do we actually do this? You can rely on a really straightforward 5-step framework. 1. Pause. Just stop and break that artificial urgency. 2. Investigate. Look a little deeper than that flashy headline or the highly targeted ad. 3. Read. Go find information that wasn't literally written by the promotional team. 4. Compare. What are the actual alternatives out there? And 5. Think. This whole process of just slowing down is absolutely the best defense you have on the modern battlefield of algorithms and ads. It takes the power away from the screen and puts it firmly back in your own mind. And while you're in that thinking phase, you've got to interrogate the impulse. Ask yourself, what problem does this actually solve for me? Is this a genuine need, or was this need entirely invented by clever marketing? What are the hidden long-term costs here? And this is my absolute favorite one to ask. Actually, if nobody had ever advertised this to me, would I even want it? Asking these questions isn't being cynical, you know. It's the very definition of healthy skepticism and critical thinking. It just means you require actual evidence before you commit. And critical thinking is so vital today because of what we are up against. Now, advertising itself isn't inherently evil. Businesses need customers, right? But the persuasion tactics being used today are unbelievably sophisticated.
We are talking about billions of dollars poured into machine learning, personalized ads, and deep data analysis, all aimed directly at your wallet. None of that makes a product automatically bad, for sure, but it means you are up against a Goliath. Your defense? Independent reviews, critical thinking, and conscious control. The consumer has to stay in the driver's seat, not the algorithm, you. Let's apply this directly to something we all deal with, the modern subscription economy. Today, literally everything is a recurring payment. Software, fitness apps, cloud storage, music. And yeah, they can be great, but you have to run the subscription check. Will this improve my life enough to justify an ongoing fee? Could I accomplish this another way? Am I even going to care about this app in 6 months? Or, and we've all been here, am I just continuing to pay because the idea of navigating customer service to cancel feels like a complete nightmare? This is all about practicing smart spending and being highly intentional with your resources.
Which brings us to a seriously powerful realization. In a market-driven society, every purchase you make communicates a preference. But maybe even more importantly, every single refusal communicates a preference too. Choosing to spend less, intentionally delaying purchases, seeking out better alternatives, or joining a boycott of expensive luxury goods, these aren't just economic actions. They are the ultimate modern form of peaceful civil disobedience. Just like Thoreau refused to hand over his tax money for something he opposed, consumers today have this quiet, incredibly powerful form of civic expression simply by refusing to automatically open their wallets.
Exercising this kind of peaceful market influence naturally makes us zoom out and ask bigger questions about the systems we're participating in. We always hear politicians talking about national economic growth and innovation as the ultimate measures of success, but we really need to shift our focus to the everyday citizen. Do regular people actually feel secure? Can families comfortably afford healthcare and childcare? Are they able to build any savings? Can young adults actually buy a home today? Can students get a degree without drowning in decades of debt? An economy isn't just about GDP, it's about the real security it provides its people.
And to show you just how wildly complex this idea of everyday security has become, let's look at a specific number: $250,000. As a household income, that sounds like literal yacht money, right? I mean, it places a family way, way above the national median. But here is the crazy, surprising reality. In expensive metropolitan areas across the country right now, families earning $250,000 a year still report feeling immense, nonstop financial pressure. So how is that even possible? Well, it's because of the hidden pressures. When you actually factor in astronomical housing costs, taxes, childcare, healthcare premiums, transportation, and everyday inflation, that high income doesn't automatically mean you're financially thriving. Experiences differ wildly depending on where you live and your debt, but it highlights a massive paradox. Financial security is a two-part equation. It depends entirely on your earnings and the actual cost of maintaining a stable life. If the cost of basic stability outpaces income, even high earners are going to feel the squeeze. And this is exactly why we have to stay so vigilant. Navigating all these economic pressures, avoiding the subscription traps, and fighting off endless persuasion tactics means we have to take Thoreau's greatest lesson to heart. True responsibility boils down to this: do not outsource your judgment. Do not just assume that because something is viral, it's true. Do not assume authority guarantees correctness. You have to read, verify the facts yourself, listen to multiple perspectives, and then make your own call. Independent thinking is the absolute foundation of a healthy society. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on. In an age literally overflowing with tailored persuasion and countless competing interests, are you making informed choices, or are you just making automatic ones? Thoreau challenged his generation to put conscience above convenience, and honestly, I think that challenge has never been more relevant than it is right this second. The greatest act of modern citizenship isn't automatic agreement, and it isn't automatic rejection. It's thoughtful examination. So, stay curious, verify everything, and whatever you do, never stop asking questions.